All right, welcome back to the channel, Cobalt Black Gaming. I'm your host, Cobalt, and today we're going to be checking out Hell Clock. This is a fairly recent indie action roguelite. So far, this has been an absolute blast. I've played 2 runs, and each run, essentially, you gain a lot of power and go faster, which is kind of a unique mechanic for this roguelite, right? So your meta progression in this is basically centered around your equipment. Okay? You gain massive amounts of damage and or health after each run, or you know, what have you, for each piece of equipment. So you start out with nothing, and so you can imagine your first gun being plus 300 something base damage helps a lot, right? And the reason it progresses like this is actually kind of cool. So the way it ends up working is, these are your skills, by the way. You can get skills here. The way it ends up working is you have a limited amount of time to get through a run. Okay, there's a clock on the top, hence the name Hell Clock. Essentially, the reason you gain so much meta progression and so much power after each run is so that you can go that much further, right? These hallways and corridors that used to be a fight that took you 10-15 seconds now take you 1. And you start kind of pushing further and faster every single time. Again, these are your skills. This is how you unlock them, right here. As you can see, skills are locked by act, probably to make sure your power doesn't get too crazy. Here's what they call the reliquary. So you have a selection of relics that you may put into this grid of 12 squares. The larger the relic, usually the more game-changing the power is. The cool part about these relics is they fundamentally alter skills you're using. Convert split shot into a single bullet that deals physical damage equal to 158% of the original damage multiplied by its current projectile amount. Basically, there's a skill called split shot. That's your starting skill. And as you can probably tell from the icon and the name, it splits. It is 3 bullets. However, because I have that relic, it is now 1. And it's kind of hard to see with the animation. Still looks like it might split, but it is now 1 big bullet. However, I also went in here into the reliquary, and I have another relic that says split shot deals plus 19% damage, but costs 50% more mana. So hopefully what ends up happening here is I just end up doing a lot more damage. And we're going to see. You can also upgrade these with a certain amount of soul stones. Obviously, I'm too broke to upgrade them right now. And then here is the other source of your meta progression, the Great Bell. So this is your typical roguelite, a skill tree kind of progression. You finish your first thing, which is a massive amount of base damage added to you, and then you can split off. I immediately, in any roguelite I play, go for whatever gets me the increase to collecting the meta progression currency, okay? I think that is personally just the best way to go, the best way to progress faster in the game. Usually there's kind of a choice you can make, right? Is it do you invest in things like life and mana and gold, which is your in-run progression currency, so that you can get further in a run, or do you just go for that meta progression so that you can kind of amass as much power as possible? And that's always the way I choose to take it. So this will be my 3rd run, and we're going to see how these relics serve me. Alright, so I can already see a problem I'm going to find with this new split shot, is it does not pierce. So I'm one-shotting these guys, but I don't get through them. So this is what happens when you level up. You can pick one of 3 things, typical of pretty much any roguelite. You can re-roll it for gold. I don't have any gold, I just started my run, so we've got to pick between one of these 3. Now you'll notice here at the bottom, which is kind of really cool, you have a certain amount of each rarity of upgrade per skill. So for each skill, you can do 1 legendary upgrade, 2 rare upgrades, 3 magic upgrades, and 4 common upgrades. So it kind of caps out how powerful each skill can become. We're gonna go with dash speed because that's the only ability there I actually use. Which I think is kind of good, right? It requires you to make sure that instead of just building one skill like crazy, you make sure your build kind of synergizes, stuff works together, stuff works well. So that's pretty cool. I like that approach to progression in these kind of games. Alright, so we're going to go with 1 projectile amount because if you remember that relic, it said the damage increases based on projectile amount. So that is big for us. And so far, what's been nice about this ability is it's one-shotting everything, right? I would love if there's a modifier for it that made it pierce. I don't know if that's even possible. If I were to guess, it would probably be a relic that would allow that to happen. Which means I'm going to have to progress a lot further and hope I just get lucky and get that drop, right? So far, I do like the second, I guess, what I would call basic attack skill that you get. It still spends mana. It's not quite like Diablo where you have a gainer and a spender. You just kind of spend and regen. You might actually have a gainer. I'm not sure. I don't... From what I've looked at, you don't have a gainer. Skill speed. It's common. We'll take it. That's kind of important since it only fires 1 and that doesn't pierce. Okay, so we got kind of a catch-22 here. We can re-roll and then hope we have enough money to get something, but we don't have enough money for these commons, so I don't think we're going to get enough money, which is fine by me. I think next I will actually invest in that gold gain so that my runs can be a lot more effective. So we'll probably do a couple runs in this video, because if you notice the clock at the top, these runs are fairly quick. And that clock forces you to end. That is not a negotiable amount of time. You don't hit the end of that and like some darkness starts closing in, but you can like outrun it. No. That is the end of your run. You die at that point, regardless of how well you were doing or what you were doing at the time. Which I think is pretty cool. Purely because of the nature of this game, it automatically respects your time, right? And that's pretty sweet. I really dig games that will respect my time and kind of get to the point. And have a bit of a sense of urgency. And that's just because, you know, I'm you know, in my 30s, I have a 9-to-5. Or, well, I had a 9-to-5. Currently, I am unemployed, but we'll get there. And, you know, I don't necessarily have time for these big story-driven ARPGs and things, which is sad. I used to love story-driven games. You know, growing up, Final Fantasy X was one of my favorite games of all time. Still is. I just don't have the time. So if you notice, that was a boss, and I killed him in 3 hits. And that's kind of how the progression goes in this game, right? The first time I fought him, he was difficult to fight. Not difficult, but definitely one of those things where it's like, oh, I have to pay attention, I have to try, I have to make sure I don't die here. And it's kind of turned into the first boss is a bit of a joke. And that's because you still have the same amount of time to get through here. So that skill tree I showed you will add time to your clock eventually as you get further down it. But aside from that, there's few ways to add time to your clock. So instead of adding time to your clock, you add a bunch of damage and go way faster. You start just screaming the Sonic X theme song and you run through levels like they're nothing. Actually really like this concept. It's funny because when I was younger, I hated timers in games, and I think that just goes back to like game design in the late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of times timers felt really cramped and not fun. You know, that, and maybe I just am a weird child and had a little bit of an anxiety. That might have been a problem too. Now I kind of like them because it means there's a sense of urgency you know, if they're implemented well. I hate games where they have timers and then they'll like have a cutscene while the timer's running, and it's just like, dude, I don't need to hear him talk. Why is that? What is this? Okay, so I'm glad I took the bell spell, because that is allowing me to take out these massive hordes, and my main ability that I've been using is allowing me to focus bigger threats, which is nice. This is a nice little convenient build I've built. Yeah, so I'm, as you can tell from what I've said so far, I'm very pleasantly surprised and happy with how this game turned out so far. It's a lot of fun. I highly suggest it. I will have the link to the Steam page down in the description, where you can pick up Hellclock. Oh boy. Let's get you all together so that I can do this, and then this. Oh, well, I leveled. Okay, we're just gonna take that because it's rare, and sometimes I like rare things. I like to feel special. Anyways. I'm gonna run through here. Oh! Yeah, these guys can be a bit of a problem, but not when you have a giant church bell to drop on them, apparently. Or a dash to go through the boards. Yeah, that is something I love about this game, is it plays to a really... It has a really good power fantasy dynamic, where you essentially... We're gonna reroll. Want elemental damage or conviction gain, but that's too much conviction gain. I'm just gonna go with move speed. Plays to a really nice power fantasy where each run you feel your power grow, right? Like you see me come back here and I'm just demolishing things. But as you progress in the run, you're gonna yet again hit a point where enemies are trouble. They're hard to beat, they're hard to kill, and you need to focus a bit more. So it's really nice because it gives that power fantasy while still giving that challenge, and I think that's huge in games. That is probably one of those things in game design. Again, I'm not a game designer. I just play a lot of games, so I think I have ideas about it, but do I know? No, probably not. But that is one of those things I think is a really hard thing to balance in games, is that power fantasy to struggle ratio. And obviously that also depends on your players, right? Some people love their Souls-likes. They wanna feel like they wanna throw their controller at their TV because they get immense satisfaction from finally beating that incredibly hard boss, right? Couldn't be me, but some people do. And that's cool. That's great. I do get satisfaction from overcoming a difficult obstacle. I'm not gonna say I don't. But I do not want just fighting standard enemies, like bog standard enemies in a game, to become part of the massive challenge, which is kind of where a lot of Souls-likes end up. I like a game like this where, yeah, I now have these runs where the beginning is my power fantasy and the end of the run is my challenging obstacle. What I am noticing, though, is because of the skill I've picked, I believe my run has slowed drastically. So I'm kind of unhappy about this. So there's another skill called Repeater, and it does exactly what it says, you know, split shot, repeater. These are very transparently named skills. Repeater shoots, it's like turns your pistol into a small assault rifle, right? Which is really, really good for clearing these mobs. And that's something I've just noticed, right, is clearing the boss, super easy, much quicker. Clearing these mobs has now become a bit of an issue. I kind of want to go with the conviction gain just because... I don't know, conviction is nice. Alright, so we are in a boss room. You see the clock has frozen. So yeah, second boss, again, super easy on this run. So now I get to pick a relic to take home with me. So when you pick your relic, you have to equip it at the beginning of the run, so I will not be able to see this relic. It will not look like I have it, and that's okay. Alright, that's pretty cool. Kind of like this one, but I also kind of want to reroll. I already have this one. Very interesting, and also the reroll just screwed me, but whatever. We're gonna go with the double knives thing. I've never used double knives, so this will be a learning experience once I get there. So yeah, this run is actually worse than my last run. I did gain some power, but because I switched abilities, things are a little bit slower to me. However, these elites melt, which is awesome now. Yeah, let's go with the bell. I think the bell's really cool. I have a relic for it and everything. I just didn't have the space, because one of my, like, one square relics that's not that good increases soulstone gain, which is the meta progression currency. And like I said earlier, I will sacrifice a great many things to increase the rate of meta progression currency gain in a roguelite. And this time I sacrificed a lot of speed. Well, I didn't sacrifice a lot of speed for that. I sacrificed a lot of speed because I wanted to try new things. We're gonna go with lifespan. And we're gonna keep going. So we got 2 minutes to get through this area, which I don't think is really gonna happen. But who knows? I can prove myself wrong. I like proving myself wrong. Doesn't happen too often. I usually understand what I'm capable of, and it's not a lot. That's okay, though. What I do like about this one-shot is to be able to hit gunners, because they're really what I find to be the problem. We're gonna go with dash speed. We're just gonna keep pushing this dash. Okay. Is this the end? This is not the end. Yeah, so as you can, if you can hear it, I don't know if you can hear that, but I will turn it up in post. The clock's starting to tick. It's starting to have a little bit of, oh, I should have stayed there. It's starting to have a little bit of urgency to it as we're in the last minute. I'm even wondering if really the strategy kind of just becomes run past everything. Just fuck it, it don't matter, run. Which seemingly might be it. Okay, so this is where I got to before. I believe did I die here or did I complete this? I think I completed it. I don't remember. Those boys are chunky. Thanks, Belle. That wasn't the group I wanted you to hit, but you did something. And isn't that really what it's about at the end of the day? Doing something. I gotta use my dodge offensively a lot more. I use it to get out of the way, because in my head it is a dodge, not a dash. And really, what I should be using it for is both. Killing hordes and getting out of the way. Like that. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Dash into a horde, dash into a horde. This was bad. And that was why I use it mostly for getting out of the way, at least until I'm used to it. Oh, I did beat this guy last time. Yeah, I definitely think Repeater, even with both these relics working on this skill, I think the Repeater is a better skill. And you know what? I will probably be doing a couple of runs in this video. Maybe two. Maybe two. to just kind of highlight, you know, how a skill can change up everything about this game. Because it's really cool. I highly suggest that if you like action roguelites, if you're a fan of stuff kind of like Hades, but with a twist on it, this is a great game for that. Yeah, so we're not going to get to the next level, which is a little depressing. This is okay, though. So what I don't like about the bell is it seems to cost a large amount of mana. Let's get that, because we're going to die in 5 seconds, so we want to make sure we get the soul stones. And so, yeah, you see the health clock runs out, and you just die. You're done. Alright, so we didn't get too many relics this time. But these are both pretty cool, and you can upgrade your relics for meta progression currency. So I might end up doing that. I might not. We shall see. I do wonder if there's a way to get larger relic spots. I should really check out the meta progression skill tree. Sorry, old lady, I did not mean to just drop a fucking church bell on you, but it happened. Alright, so we can increase our defense quite a bit. Everything else seems to be the same. Tempest. Double knives damage is increased by... Okay. So I do want to try out double knives. That is another thing I want to attempt. So you know what? Let's unlock that now. Let's assign it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it is a spin to win that has drain, essentially. Very interesting. The other cool thing about this is you gain the points available here based on the total amount of soul stones you've gained, right? So you can gain them and spend them, gain them and spend them, but the total amount is logged here, and it gives you these available points. Hence why I'm rushing this node, because I think that is going to speed up my progression greatly. So, yeah, the question is, do we do a quick Tempest run, or do we do... Relics can be upgraded to become more powerful. Upgrade increases the value of relic affixes. Pressing X while hovering. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, do we go for a double knives build, or do we go back to the repeater? So this is the skill for the repeater. Converts all damage to fire, and a 39% chance on hit to launch a grenade, dealing 85% of repeater's damage as a fire explosion. So that's really good for repeater. Since I've been talking about it and haven't actually shown you, this is what... Man, if I could actually click on things I want to click. This is what repeater does. So you see how that might make getting through the level a bit quicker. However, the only good thing I'm thinking about grabbing here is Tempest. And I kind of want to. We're gonna. Because I have 2 of these relics now, I kind of want to try a double knives run. We're going to do that real quick. Let's see. We're going to check how this goes. Alright, this is already nutty. I love that. We're going to add area of effect to my dash, because since I'm melee now, dash is going to be way more important. And I like it because of the massive amount of mana I feel like I'm saving, right? Because it's a channeled ability, but I do lots of damage. I don't have to channel for very long, and these guys go away. Meaning you haven't really seen my mana get low at all. I'm also, again, wondering how much of this game turns into me just sprinting through hallways, not caring that there are enemies in my way. Or even not caring that there are chests, right? Like, I find myself playing this and wanting the enemies to run to me a lot more now, which is a new feeling. Oh, hold on. Yeah, adding the throwing knives is really good with this. Okay. Alright, room cleaned up pretty well. I'm definitely gonna try to make this go quickly. We're gonna add elemental damage because all of the damage we deal right now is electric. Well, all of the damage we most of the damage, not all, obviously. All the damage we deal with our double knife skill, which is clearly our main source of damage at the moment. So I think this is one of those builds that allows for more things, but also is a lot more skill point hungry. Because I'm going to want a lot of movement speed for this build, or a lot of points in my dash as well, so that I can get around, since enemies are slow shambling messes and I am melee. It'd be nice if there was a relic that did like, whenever you do your double knives, you shoot extra throwing knives out of them or something. I find myself wanting the crawlers and the dogs because they just show up immediately. Gone. That was nice. This is really cool. One little ailment duration. This is the area of effect skills. We're gonna go with that because, yeah, I think that getting bigger is essential. I need to be able to reach more hearts and souls with my damage. We're gonna do that because I don't want to reroll, but nothing else there was actually good for me, really. Because I'm not using the bell this run. That is the thing I also really like about this, is the freedom of skills and how much the skill changes up your run. Like, this is totally different. I was gonna check that side area, but I realize this is all about speed, so what am I doing? Mana, critical damage, elemental damage. Oh, I don't have enough. That is... I'm mad about that. We're going to take the more mana, even though we don't need it. You know what? I can't even give a logical explanation for why I did that. The more I think about it, the dumber I think it was for me to do. We're going to add way more damage, though. Yeah, that is nutty. These hordes don't stand a chance. It's also nice because I feel like I can break these pots without wasting as much mana. With the gun, because everything was basically per shot, felt like wasting a shot to break a pot was not a smart idea. Whereas with this, it's like, who cares? Mana regeneration, we'll take it. We keep getting boatloads of elemental damage, and we just don't have the gold to support that. It's depressing. I imagine part of the meta progression skill tree is getting a lot more gold. But I have not gotten there yet, and like I said, we're going to focus on full meta progression currency first. Alright, decrease the mana cost. That's huge. We'll take it, but I don't really think I need it. However, you know, when I end up against a boss, it'll be nice to have. Right? I should be able to essentially kill any boss without fully draining my mana bar. That's the goal of this build. More mana, skill area of effect. We're gonna go with that. right, now for the banker. The merchant. I don't know. He's corrupt. Fleeced everybody in the town. Died. Now he ends up like that. Okay, each knife hit on reflexes. Increase movement speed and melee attack speed. Okay. Is reflexes this bad, Larry, down here? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cooldown on the dodge is what I want, most likely. I should use reflexes more with this build. It's huge AoE now. Now I just gotta increase its cooldown, and we're in business with it, actually, I think. Because this covers my range weakness, right? We're gonna go with skill speed. Does it tell me how many of these yet left? Okay, yes it does. It does count down. We're gonna grab this side thing. Yeah, so as you can see, the slightest change up in a build or gain in power can drastically change how a run goes. We are doing much, much better than before, it feels like. We're gonna go with move speed, actually. I haven't come close to dying this time. Did I actually take that? No, I didn't. Gave me move speed. Sick. Let's use this. Okay, a couple elites. Take the life, since that's all we can take. I did not mean to cast that bell. We're going to keep on going. I can definitely see that this game is going to turn into all of your power comes from whatever you went into the run with, and then you just run past enemies. That's kind of what it feels like. Which, I don't mind. Okay, to be able to just wood chip everything that well with how little mana I've spent. Max knives, yes, I will take that. Alright, he seems to be a bit tankier. Had to use my bell there. Okay, we didn't get anything cool after him. Sad. Yeah, see, we have way more time now. We're gonna go with damage, because I am starting to feel... Ooh, knife generation time and throw speed. Interesting. I feel like the damage of this is falling off a bit, so I want to rectify that really quick. Definitely want you dead. Alright, I'm still not taking a lot of damage, which is good. That's what we want to make sure doesn't start happening. Still not getting a lot of gold either. Or I'm just spending a lot of it recklessly, which is kind of what has been happening. I'm not very good at saving money in games. Or probably in real life. We're not going to talk about that, though. This isn't about real life. This is about video games. Okay, I'll take it. Cool, gold. Yeah, I also am not getting a lot of gold because I'm not going to side rooms because I'm trying to progress as fast as possible. Okay, relentless collapse on the bell, skill speed. We're gonna go with skill speed. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, so this is definitely awesome. I didn't think I would like the double knives build. I was actually really feeling the power fantasy of the kind of gunslinger revolver thing, but this is sick. Okay, I think I want critical chance over crit damage, right? We're gonna grab that. We'll just let it go. We ain't gonna think too hard about it. Alright, we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. How far can we get in these 2 minutes? What? You teleporting now? Come on, man. You can't be doing that. Fuck out of here. Oh. Okay, that is glorious. Just seeing all the lightning drop down and end them. Dash speed, okay. Sick. I don't actually know what the right way to go is in this level, so I could be going towards a dead end. I was not. I did not fail myself. Crit chance heals life on kill. No, that is one of my relics, and I think that's actually why my health has been topped off so well. Is that my knives do damage? This is a boss. Okay. The matriarch. A giant brood mother. Oh, yikes. Alright, we take those. Yeah, I don't have to actually worry too much about taking damage, it seems. It seems like I put it back pretty quickly. I don't want to be in that, though. Boom! Alright.
Eu não tive o deleite de cortar a cabeça daquele lunático que vocês chamam de conselheiro. Mas fico muito satisfeito em saber que meu exército decapitou esse flagelado.
Corta-cabeças. Achei que tinha me livrado de você,
Oh boy, he seems to be some old serial killer? I don't know. Closed body. I don't know what that is. Grants 125. Oh. Okay, that's kind of cool. Enemies affected by slow time. When inside slow time. Okay. They're both slow time. Do I reroll? That's the question. I don't really use slow time right now, although I could see it actually being pretty good with the double knives build. Although the dash has been amazing. Yeah, let's reroll. Peter, Shadow Dash has no cooldown and no mana cost, but drains 9% life when activated. Oh. We're gonna go with the slow time thing. Because here's the thing. I can see myself getting really dash happy and just entirely forgetting that, hey, you're paying for that with your life, literally. Alright, yeah, so far this build is busted. I'm loving every second of it and highly recommend using it. I don't know who you were, but you were red, therefore you die quickly. Because I haven't seen something like you before, and that scares me. Oh man, I did not know I could sum up the human condition that quickly. Sharp strike, okay, yeah, sure. Let's have these do a boatload of damage. I like that. I will be taking out all the elites, though, because they give gold, and sometimes they give relics. Which, in case you couldn't tell by my priorities, relics are a huge priority to me. Mostly just because, again, when I play games like this, I go for what can get me the biggest amount of persisting power, right? And I think this game really caters to that well, which is why I'm enjoying it so much. It caters exactly to how I like to play these games. This whole speed thing is a little new to me, but I'm enjoying it as well. Normally I'm a much more slow, methodical kind of player. where like I will stay, usually I will stay on lower level difficulties, just kind of honing my build and how I play for a long time. So it is interesting for me to play this game and kind of feel the way that I know I'm not as a gamer. Right? Like, I feel like I am just sitting here being like, I want to push, I want to go fast, I want to do awesome things. Whereas normally, as a gamer, I'm like, I'll get there. Okay, that reroll fucked me. We're gonna go with attack speed. I think that's gonna be the best way to gain damage on my knives. Oh! Okay, we're in a challenge room, or just a boss room, or what? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so, yeah, my mana's draining, but my health is staying pretty high. Although, I definitely imagine it's going to start feeling a lot harder after this, because this feels like a boss. Granted, he's not managing to hurt me to any meaningful extent, but he is managing to stay alive against my onslaught, so... You know, that's when I start kind of going, huh, maybe I need to be a bit stronger to keep going. Alright, we still have 2 minutes. That's the other thing, is after bosses, you do gain a little bit back on the clock. I'm not sure what that calculation is based on, or how much it actually is, but you do gain a bit back. Okay, let's get out of here, though. Area of effect? Sure, we'll take it. I don't really care. Everything is about spinny knives. Henceforth, double knives shall be known as spinny knives. So it has been decreed. And spinny knives are the best knives ever. Oh. Can you be less? Can you be less, please? Thank you. You guys too. Stop being all uppity. Skill speed? Sure, we'll take it. We're getting a lot of lightning strikes. And we just got a brand new jacket. That's pretty good. And a pretty good trinket. Okay, cool. Oh, I would have loved that. Potion capacity. We're just gonna go with physical damage because I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to... Rerolling at a certain point doesn't feel worth it, to be honest. Okay. I don't know what that was. We got 1 minute. We need to start blasting. We need to start blasting. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give me the gold. Give me the gold. Let's go. Sorry to all of you watching this. I don't know the person I've become while playing this, but, you like speed. Lead chance, physical damage. I guess it's the mana. Which, if the next boss is anything like the last boss, I'll really want that mana. Come on, give me all your gold. Okay, we're going, we're going. I want to see if I can just get there, because if I can get to the next boss, I have a chance of beating it because the clock stops. Mana shield, crit chance. Okay, we got... Yes, we got here with 10 seconds to spare. Awesome. This is what I wanted to do. All right.
Difícil de acreditar que traidor como você já serviu ao nosso glorioso exército.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Eu nunca fui de vocês. Nunca matei inocente.
Okay, he seems aggressive, but so do I, so... I don't know, man. My aggression versus your aggression. Let's go. I do also like how this boss feels like, hey, I have to maybe not just be dumb about things. And on top of it... Oh. And on top of it, I feel like I'm actually getting use out of my whole kit, as opposed to everything before this, which was just, oh, you just spin to win. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna spin to win. And he's still going down. Probably won't get to any boss after this, but I think this run is solid. Someone's probably watching this right now, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, no, this is like one of the easiest bosses in the game. I don't know what's wrong with you. And you know what? Just let me have my pride. Let me have my fun. Alright. Boom.
Cada canidense desgarrado. Que Deus cuide das suas almas. E o
Okay.
diabo da tua.
Double Knives adds 20% base chance to apply bleed. Oh. Repeater. Plus 17 damage. We're gonna go with this. Because, I don't know, I really enjoyed me some Double Knives. I think this was Act 1 completed. Yeah, I think we did it. Not gonna lie, I might come back and play this game on hard mode.
Você voltou, compadre? Aquela criatura parecia o próprio cramunhão. Deus me livre guarde. Vasculhei esse porão todo, mas nada de encontrar o conselheiro. Minha fé te acompanha, compadre. Nós encontraremos. O que diabos é isso?
Ok.
Meu Deus, perdoe essa pobre coitada, que de joelhos rezou um bocado, pedindo pra chuva cair sem parar.
So I always come back here and check in with everything with an exclamation point, but it seems that it is just furthering the story and they just kind of like say their little blurb and it doesn't really matter. Oh, this is really good. Yeah, we have 2,000. We're buying that. I don't have to twist my arm. Oh, okay. We'll have to come back there and check out those skills next time. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Trying to grow the channel and every little bit helps. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow with another roguelite video. Y'all have a fantastic night now.